Welcome to the Get Real podcast. I'm your host, Tanika Meeks. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. I hope everyone have a safe and healthy day. And as promised, starting in December, we're going to have a monthly recurring host in my dating series for the Get Real podcast, my brother, Stephone. Stephone, welcome to the Get Real podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, how long have you been in the dating game?
A little over a decade.
Now, you're a handsome, hardworking man. Tell me why you're single.
I'm really picky. Can't settle for nothing out here.
So is that the problem? Is that you can't meet a woman that meets your standards? And so since today's topic is dating standards, let's talk about your standards and how they've changed over the years. Okay. So first of all, talk to me about like how you rate yourself and then how you rate the women you encounter when you go out on dates, and kind of walk me through your process.
I feel like I'm middle of the market type dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, but in the market you're in, that makes all the difference. This is in Miami, of course, and it's slim pickings out here. And
now, when you say out here, we're in the Midwest. We're in Kansas. So when he talk about markets, we're talking about the Midwest market. So
rated one of the worst places to date, like 15 years ago. I don't know the specific year in the specific publication, but it was rated one of the worst places to date, which doesn't help. And I kind of feel that for being here so long.
Okay, so that'll be a different episode. We'll talk about the dating scene in Kansas. This is going to be a monthly recurring series on the Get Real podcast where we're going to talk about different aspects of the dating game. So you say you're middle of the market. Mm-hmm. Kind of talk to me about that. Like, how do you rate yourself when it comes to middle of the market? What are your criteria to say, hey, I'm this, and this, and this, and this?
I mean, the standards: a man should have a job, a car, and a place to live. That's the standard. Would you be surprised how many women are okay with a man not meeting the standards, which is absolutely crazy. But I mean, to be beyond that, you would have to, what type of car, what type of job, what type of money do you have? That stuff, gets you to 8s, 9s, 10s in the world. But I would say middle of the market. I got all those things, which I'm blessed to have. But I'm not The Rock or Will Smith, but I'm not a homeless bum sleeping under a bridge.
Okay, so when he says standards, he's talking about the basics. If you're a grown man, you should have a place to stay, your own preferably, not your mama's basement. You should have a job.
Roommates neither. No roommates.
No roommates too. You should have a job. Now, like he said, when you have a job, you can work at McDonald's.
They're $30,000 a year job. They're $300,000.
Exactly, and there are people who make $3 million a year. So
those are probably about 9s and 10s.
There are levels to this. Let's be very clear. There are very levels, but we're talking about the basic standard. So the basic standard is in a man or a woman, you should have a place to live, your own, preferably no roommates. You should have a vehicle. I mean, you don't have to drive a Mercedes Benz, but let's not be trying to meet at the bus stop.
You're probably not ready to date yet. I'm just throwing it out there.
And you should have a job. No one wants to be taken to a soup kitchen on their first date. So make sure.
I actually heard somebody say that.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. There was a guy who took a woman to a soup kitchen on their first date. Now, if that's the type of man you are, make sure you let that person know so they know.
And the status of women you're going to get is going to drastically drop with that.
That is true. So that is the standards. If you don't have a job, a car, your own place, honestly, in our opinion, you don't need to be out here in the dating game. You need to work on
self-development first.
Yeah. And put aside trying to find a partner, and really work on self. Because when you get into a relationship, you should have something to offer another person. And if you don't have the basics, you don't have shit to offer anybody. That's just real.
Carrying you trying to mooch off of them, but you're not neither one already yet.
Yeah, you looking for a sponsor. That's what you're doing. You're looking for someone else to help you get to where you're going. So you say you're middle of the road. Middle of the road for most people is about a 5 or a 6. 5, yeah. So where do you fall? That 5 or that 6?
I would definitely say 6, 6.5. In this Midwestern market, I would probably say I'm a 6. But that's being kind of boosting myself up. But I don't know. It also depends on the company you keep and the people that I hang around, we hang around. I mean, I would definitely say I'm a 6 because I hang around a lot of people who just ain't trying to move or shake. But, once you bump into moving and shake, it's like, oh, damn, I need to step my game up. But, yeah, and then the women, I've realized that women like all kinds. There are some women who are down for broke dudes who ain't trying to do nothing. So it just depends. But I would say about 6, 6.5.
Okay, so outside of having a car, having your own place, having a job, what else do you look? What are those other characteristics? On my last podcast, I talked about learning to judge people off the content of their character. So, what are those characteristics that you look for in a woman? Honesty, fidelity, faithfulness, integrity.
Those are values. I was gonna say positivity and ambition. I would say in a man, but what I look for in a woman?
Yes.
Positivity. I hate women who every time I text or call them, their world is on fire. It's like, man, that it gets really depressing. It gets extremely depressing. How you doing? Oh, my body hurting. My family this and my kids that, and it's just every time I hit her up, it's always a complaint about life, a complaint about it. That's draining, and I don't like hitting them up anymore. I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to be around the positivity is number one. Some ambition. You don't want a chick that's just not going nowhere. And then there are other issues like you saying values and personality traits. I would even go into kids, but that's another topic. But
we're talking about dating standards, so let's talk about that. So you brought up kids. Do you or don't you want to date a chick with kids?
I would prefer them to have none or maybe one. One's kind of my limit. Once they get into 2 and 3, it's like, okay, you hate to say they use goods because nobody is used goods, but it's just a preference on what you want. I don't want a woman with 2, 3, 4 kids. That's just, I'm not a 50-year-old man. That's a lot. But and then there's always the babysitter issues, y'all hanging out. It just adds on to the plate when the more kids they have. So I would say 0 or 1. And 0 or 1 would be my number.
Now, I want to say something. He's saying that because he has zero children.
Yeah, I got to throw that out there.
So, if he was a man with 4 kids.
If I had 3 or 4, then I wouldn't have that stipulation.
Exactly.
You almost can't. It kills me. I see a dude who has 3 kids by 2 women, and he wants to be with a woman who doesn't have any. Like, you can't really. I mean, you can throw that out there, but it's like it's almost unfair at that point because you don't meet your own requirement.
Exactly. So again, there's something to think about when you're thinking about yourself, when you're thinking about your future partner. Think about where your life is. His dating standards or where his life is now, what he has to offer now. Over the years, as he develops, matures, as his situation changes, his dating standards will change.
And the finances for single men is the biggest one. Dudes who make less than 70 have a certain standard for women probably. And then you got to go guys who making 6 figures. They got that different standard. Then you got the guys who making a buku amount of cash. Yeah, they only date models. That's it. And people, so, man, it is what it is, man. So yeah, that's kind of how that works.
So remember, you gotta judge yourself. Judge what you have to offer. Look at yourself in the mirror. Are you, our physical is what attracts people. It's not what keeps people. No, so make sure you have something to offer beyond a pretty face.
I would say for a man too. I mean, looks help, but even after looks, I see a lot of ugly dudes get women because they know how to talk to women, know how to treat women, or just their personality and they bravado. Women are into looks, no doubt about it, but the looks don't necessarily keep women. Once you open your mouth as a man, it can just kill it with women. I see dudes who are good looking all day every day, open their mouth, and she be like, he was just the biggest dummy, or he said something that was just a deal breaker for me because he opened his mouth. So sometimes it's not even about how dude looks, more or less. I know a lot of good looking dudes who a lot of non-good looking dudes who get a lot of women. So looks aren't the whole pie. It's just a slice of it.
So okay, for some of y'all who out there who are not listening, take that to heed. You may be a pretty face, but if that mind is not right, nobody wants to be bothered.
Shit together. A man without ambitions, a bird without wings. Smart women pay attention that Barack didn't get Michelle because that Jay-Z didn't get Beyonce. You gotta have some ambition. Dudes who do, I'm just live in my mama's basement. Your quality of women are gonna be very, very low for a very long time.
Now you brought up a good word, and of course some of you gonna get offended, and nobody cares. You brought up the word quality. Now a lot of people are dating, but they're not looking for quality. No. They out there trying to smash whom they can smash. They trying to get that
satisfaction.
Exactly. So when you're dating, make sure you know what you're looking for. Are you looking for quality? My brother's single, a man with no kids. You're looking for Mrs. Right.
Yeah, some people are looking for smash and dash, and some people are looking for a trophy wife. And there's all things in between. If you're looking for a one-night stand, you're looking for a trophy wife. If you're looking for the Holly Beyonce type, you got to be a certain type of man. If you're looking for the smash and dash, you can find that at any local bar or club. So it's just all about what you're looking for.
And that's true. And this is where knowing yourself, knowing what you have to offer, and knowing what you're looking for in another person. And one thing I keep telling people, learn to be honest. If you just want to smash,
Tell them that.
out the gate, don't be trying to lead people on like you want more if you
Surprised how
don't
many people
want
be
more.
down with that. A lot of women are down with that. They be surprised.
How you living?
No, I'm just saying, I've done it, and I've known people who've done it, and a lot of women are okay. They're perfectly. Some women don't want commitment; they just want that, and that's the end of it. So, you don't want to meet a future wifey type, but you want to just smash, and she wants to marry you because y'all not on the same page. Y'all don't want to accord.
So I'm gonna ask that question. So if you just meet a woman and you're like, I want to hit it and I'm gonna be done with it. And, how do you approach that? Like, how would you approach that conversation and just be like, hey, I'm just looking to get what I can get out this situation?
You don't blatantly say it. You kind of let her know you just want to have fun and see where it goes. You say you want to have fun and she's okay with that, dude. You said fun. You never said nothing deeper than fun. If you say fun, which to me are kind of passwords, keywords. You say fun and she's okay with it, keep going with it. If she give it to you, she give it to you. I mean, after that, it's whatever you want to do after that. You want to quit talking to her or talk to her much less. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, but if you say fun and women give it to you, they gave it to you with no requirements of a ring, of a commitment, of anything. They just gave it to you. So it happens all the time.
We're going to talk about that off camera. But moving right along with that. So, you're a single man, got your stuff together. You're looking for Mrs. Right. Has that changed the way you date?
Yep. Yeah. Women, I don't approach, when I'm out in public, I don't even approach certain women who I know I can look and see they're not the quality. So I don't even approach. I only approach certain women. For one, I approach women who give me a positive, somewhat interested vibe. If a woman's giving me all these body languages, pretty much telling you don't approach me, I don't approach. And then some women you can look at and be like, man, she's just a hot mess. So you don't approach those types. And then some women, I seen a chick a couple of days ago out and about. I ain't gonna say where, but I seen her out and about, and she had the young Michelle Obama vibe. She completely came in that vibe, and she was at a liquor store. And I was at an ice cream shop, and she was at a liquor store. But I seen her walking to the ice cream shop, and she seen me as she was putting her liquor in her trunk, and Lord behold, she walked into the ice cream shop a couple of seconds later. And like I told her, I give you some ice cream, you give me some of your wine. And she was like, I got something stronger than some wine. And we just started talking. Ended up getting the chick's number. But yeah, I don't approach women who ain't got a certain look for me anyway. At this point in my life, I'm not looking for, just random hood rat fellatios. But some people are into that still.
Now, he brought up a good point. For a lot of people out there talking about, well, I don't know where to meet people. I don't know.
You meet the best places to meet people on your everyday walk through life. Just live your life and approach people as you wish. Don't you go in the bars and clubs. Honestly, to me, are the worst places to meet women, because like every guru has ever said in life, women go there just to get a million dudes' attention, and they don't have no intention of doing nothing with most of them. They just go there because they're attention whores and they want a bunch of attention, and they're gonna get it at a nightclub and a bar because dudes are going there for that. So I don't really go there with the intention that in my mind no more. You better off getting the chick at Walmart.
Not that chick with her ass out at Walmart, but she coming in there, looking like she trying to actually buy something. Yeah.
You're there to shop, and it just is organic. And that's really what the word is, organic. Meeting somebody in an organic setting, you can see it when you approach people in organic settings that they really are interested in you per se. Then seeing somebody drunk at a bar or nightclub, man, they're just there to have fun or whatever. They're probably not really looking for love in most cases. But at Walmart or Super Target or at a liquor store, at an ice cream parlor, those places those are really organic places to bump into somebody.
Now, he actually brought up a good point. Now, when people go out, say to like a bar or club, you put on your nicer clothes, you make sure your hair done, you make sure your makeup is flawless. But when you at an ice cream parlor or you at the liquor store, you tend to see people how they are.
What do you hopped out in sweats and a hoodie and you just, I'm just, I took a shower and ran here to get something and I'm out of here. You ain't really trying to impress nobody, you just in your natural state. And to me, that's the best time to meet people, where they being them.
That is some great advice. I would definitely tell people to take that to heart, what he just said, because that is extremely important when it comes to meeting people.
You don't want to meet somebody when they're in a situation where they're not being them, or they're putting on their representative being them best self, which is what people do at bars and nightclubs. Women get super made up at nightclubs, and they're being their best self and getting their representative, and they're probably being fake. It's like that. No, if you meet a chick that's walking through Target after work, she's probably being her organic self. That's what you should go for. But that's just my opinion.
Sage advice. Take that to heart. Get you a pen and paper. Write that down. We will be giving out gems on our dating series on the Get Real podcast. That is some amazing advice. Meet people in natural settings, because then you get to meet the real them. You're not meeting them when they're out, they've had 4 drinks, hair's flawless, makeup's flawless, they put on their come fuck me dress. Right. They're being who they are. So again, your dating standards have changed since now you're looking for something more long term, more serious. And so you're looking for a different type of woman.
Type, quality, yeah.
So
different place in life too. A 22-year-old woman's not gonna probably be at the same place a 27, 28-year-old woman's gonna be. It's just a 22-year-old woman's kind of probably still stuck in that she's want to have fun stage. She ain't looking to serious. So I mean, ain't too many 30-some-year-old men marrying 22-year-olds, but it's possible. But yeah, the woman, a different type of woman, different place in her life type of woman. Yeah.
Okay, so as you've gotten older, you've gone through the dating game. You've been in the dating game a while. It's changed now that you're looking for something more long term, more serious. You're looking for a partner. You're just not looking for a bed buddy. You're not looking for just somebody. I'm sure if you do meet somebody you just want to smash, you take it for what it is and you keep it moving. So, what are some of the characteristics that you look for in a woman? What are your standards for the future Mrs. Somebody?
We gotta be evenly yoked in a whole lot of categories. It's just, it runs the spectrum of exercising and fitness, how you gonna raise kids, how you treat old people, what are your money habits. That's like the biggest one that young people never think about, but older folk know about is money habits. Most divorces end because of money. So I mean, your money habits, how you take care of your body, you take care of your mental, how you take care of other people. I mean, those are pretty much the foundational ones.
If you haven't seen my last week's vodcast, Know Thyself, I hit on all those points when it comes to when you meet another person. You need to be able to tell them who you are.
Political and religious too, obviously those are the two. You ain't gonna give it nobody if y'all ain't on the same page in that area.
Okay, so you hit on something. As far as religion, would you date a non-Christian woman?
No. It'll never work because it ended up coming to a head and you argue about it. So no, I wouldn't.
So what type of man are you financially? Are you a saver? Are you a spender? Are you thrifty? I mean,
I'm a lot of both. I save. I have a set number I save every week, and then I pay bills and kind of end up spending the rest most weeks. But I do both. I save and spend. I don't just get a check and spend the whole thing, which I think is crazy. That's the poor financial habits. But I also don't get my check and just say the whole thing like a miser and not enjoy it myself. So, yeah, I'm a little bit of both.
Okay, and you said you want a woman who's into fitness. So talk more about that because, okay, I'm gonna bring this up and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. A lot of bigger women, if you say something to them about their weight, they feel like you're body shaming. Yeah. Oh, they're offended. They're offended by what you said. But let's be real. Everybody wants somebody who looks good to them.
Yeah.
So, as far as the physical standards, talk to me about that.
I would prefer a woman who's either athletic, petite, or of a normal size. Normal meaning 120, 130, 140. But you start getting out of that for like 5'5", the women start getting fuller. Now, some dudes are perfectly fine with that. They're cool with that. That's not my preference, So, I would prefer if a woman eats right and exercises, she ain't got to worry about that. But I mean, women would be like, I'm 5'5", 180 pounds, and I'm thick. That's not thick. that's
Dang, he just put me on the spot, and I'm 5'4".
Yeah, but
I consider myself thick.
It's also women's dimensions of how they carry it. And it's also depending on who's looking. Like some dudes, you want chicks who 5'5", 110 pounds. It's like, okay, that's kind of small. But some dudes want them real thin women. So it just depends. I would prefer the athletic, fit type, or I like thick girls too. But I don't want a fat girl who's trying to convince the world that she's thick. Like, no, baby, you're not thick. You're kind of pudgy. But And that's prevalent nowadays. That's super prevalent nowadays. They're almost making it seem bad to fat shame people. So it's become very prevalent for bigger girls to think they thick.
Now, if you are a bigger woman, nobody is trying to body shame you. Nobody is trying to fat shame
Just
you.
my preference.
But realize that everybody has a preference. And just because you approach a man and he be like, hey, you know, I don't like bigger women, don't get offended. It just means you don't fit his preference. Me personally, I like men over 6 feet. But if a guy who's 5'10" come at me, I'm not gonna be like, sorry, little dude, I ain't got no love for you. I mean, it's just my personal preference. And make sure you approach people that fit into your preference. It's not that somebody trying to dog you.
Like they say, women like men tall, dark, and handsome. That is a very shallow statistic, but it's very true. Tall meaning probably 6
feet or over,
6'4", dark, you know, relative, and handsome. Handsome's not relative. That's good looking. So, you know, dudes probably like them petite, pretty smile, big butt. I mean, they always say don't fall in love with a butt and a smile. Well, that's probably what they're teaching guys to go after. So, I mean, the simple, you know, sayings like that, or they hold true for forever. That's a classic statement of a tall, dark, and handsome man. You know, just like women, we want blah blah blah. I mean, that's so if you're not blah blah blah, you probably should get there. Which is it's nothing wrong with wanting to be those things. I don't think there's nothing wrong wanting to be tall, dark, and handsome. Ain't nothing wrong wanting to be, you know, small waist, big butt, and a pretty smile. That's good. That's women should want to achieve that. Nobody wants to be fat and ugly. So.
But again, that's up to you. If you're okay, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm 5'4" and I'm way over 150 pounds. But I also know that there are men who love me for how I am.
You're not 180 though.
No, I'm not 180.
Well, so you're not okay. I said, damn, I thought when you said I said 180, I was like, damn, is she 180?
No, I'm not 180.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie. There was a point in my life, I was 198 pounds. My little frame could not support that. And I didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel attractive because I was bigger than what I should have been. And it made me feel some type of way about myself. And so I went to the gym and I started to lose weight and I started to eat better so I could feel healthier. So, I mean, what he's saying is twofold. You want somebody who looks good to you, but you also want a lifelong partner. And if your partner eating Twinkies, Ho-Hos, and Ding Dongs, they may not be around for, a lifetime. Like, there are a lot of health things associated with that.
Some people, when they end up getting married, they just throw health and looks out the window. And I work with people like that. My daily walk, I bump into people like that. One guy specifically stands out in my mind when he got married, and he was very small and actually good looking. And they've been married for like 15 years. Now he's probably like 350 pounds and doesn't take showers on a regular. And I'm just like, but they have like 7 kids. And I'm just like, whoa, like what is this woman seeing? And I knew what she's seeing when they got married, but I'm wondering 15 years later, what is she? No, she's not a great looker herself by no means, but some people let themselves go. If you're into that thing, you get with that type of mate and you're both fine with that, hey, that is what it is. But that I'm not gonna do that. I want to be the people you see on TV where I get married and 15 years later we kind of still look the same. I want to get with some chick and 15 years later she's as big as a house.
Now let's bring up: are you physically fit? Do you maintain yourself?
I exercise every morning before I go to work. Even on weekends when I wake up, I did it this morning. Even on weekends, I made it. I'm big into self development and self all that good stuff. So yeah, even when I get up on the weekends, I gotta go after it before I really get my day started. On days I don't do it, I feel, dang, I missed out on the workout this morning. But most days, yeah, I do. Upper body, lower body, everything, because I want to be fit. Because I know women for one, I know women like that. And for two, it makes me feel good. Even if I wasn't doing it to look good for the opposite sex, I still do it to make myself feel good. It comes a point where you really do it for yourself. Bodybuilders don't do it to look good anymore. They do it because they just want to be as big and as swole as possible or win some competition. I don't know, but it comes a time where you don't really do it for other people. You do it for self, and that's the best case in life, where you do things, doing things for yourself, because other people probably benefit from it anyway.
All you single ladies, if you get my point. But so, I mean, you're a man who you're trying to be Mr. Right because you're looking for Mrs. Right. So you're trying to get yourself together so you can be that partner you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about some of the ladies that you've dated or talked to, and kind of walk me through your process of how you evaluate them for that position of Mrs. Right. Now, some of you just got offended. I know you did. But when it comes to a partner, it is an interview process. Oh, yeah. Don't just give the person the job.
You evaluate. You're constantly, women typically probably talking to 5 or 10 dudes out there. So they're on the low. They ain't gonna tell you that when you get their number, but yeah, women have a million guys in their face. So yeah, and they're constantly interviewing and evaluating. And they hang out with a few of them, but it's a boatload of them blowing them up all the time. I know this because I've been around women and seen their iPhones and that little green message. It be 20, 30. I'm like, I used to say something about it, like, dang, you ain't read your messages, but now when I see it, I peep it out. I don't even make a comment. I'll be like, mine is at 0. I don't leave messages in red, but yeah, women, yeah.
But that should be both sexes. Women get offended when they find out a man is talking to more than one woman. But women will talk to multiple men, and it's okay.
Women are better at hiding. They're better at hiding things. Dudes are very bad at hiding things.
Because y'all simple, but that's a whole other podcast.
And that's why, that's why, like you said, it's just best be honest. And if a chick ever asks me if I date multiple women, I'm gonna tell her. Yeah, so if I'm spending Friday night with you, don't ask me what I'm doing Saturday night, which I had one chick do. I spent Sunday morning with her at brunch and watching the Chiefs game because it's in Kansas City. And I had told her I had any prior engagement Sunday night. She was like, "Oh, you about to go on a hey, look, you asking too many questions. You're not the FBI or ATF or DE, so you need to, I'm gonna take you back to your car and we're gonna be done." But yeah, like women are weird about that. Like if a chick tell me that, I don't ask no questions. We ate brunch on Saturday morning, but Saturday afternoon I got something to do. Okay. Like but I'm a dude. I'm different. I'm not insecure to be asking questions like that because I know what's up.
And you know what? If you're in the dating game, you need to know what's up. And if you want to know if somebody's dating multiple people, ask the question. Don't sit around and get in your feelings or get all huffy and puffy or want to pick a fight about nothing. If you want to know if someone's seeing you and multiple people, open your mouth like an adult and ask the question.
Or just assume they are. The best thing to do is just assume they are. That's the safest bet. That way you ain't getting all heartbroken and all that foolishness.
There you go. Gems are being dropped today. So you're actively dating, talking to multiple women, I assume. So kind of walk me through some of the ladies you kind of encountered here lately and how you go about judging them on whether you're going to move them to that next step to becoming closer to Mrs. Right.
First step is personality. That's the first thing. How do our personalities mesh? Next thing, honestly, my next thing is kids. After personality, it is kids. After personality and kids, it's they ambition or where they're going, where they've been and where they're going. Because if they got a great personality, no kids, and are going places, well, that's almost like a trifecta. And of course, another one is looks. Looks play a part. No, any dude who says anything different is lying. Those are like the main ones. Like I don't want some chick who I mesh very well with, but she has a million kids and she's not trying to go nowhere, because that'll just hold me back, or it will aggravate me in the long run. I know it will. So it's like I just kind of, you got to put a limit on how much time you spend with them. But it's so many. I don't say a trifecta, but there's so many categories you have to look for when you date, and it's just. I mean, I know the same thing for women as it is for men. Women probably be like, well, his attitude was good, but he got 25 kids and he's broke. So it's just like, and women look at that broke thing. We look at it as she's super attractive. They look at it as if she's broke. Women want dudes who have, money to spend. You don't want to be able to hang out and y'all, like you said, y'all eating at a
soup kitchen.
Yeah, soup kitchen, because he can't take you to Houlihan. So, you got to have some money. But yeah, it's several things, man. But looks, personality, the kids, ambition. I pay attention to ambition. Some people don't really care about ambition, but to me, it's a deal breaker. If a chick is very, very small-minded, not trying to do nothing, like, oh, I'm cool with what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm doing at 25. I'm gonna be doing it when I'm 65. Like that ain't what I be looking for. I pay attention to stuff like that. Like, yeah, this might not work.
So you want a woman who you can build a life with. Y'all both trying to, exactly. Y'all trying to build each other up, build the relationship up and have something.
If money's not a big deal to you, then that might be fine with you. I make 50, she make 50. We can do this for the next 40 years. That ain't my deal, and I don't want to give a woman who that's her deal. So, that's, I hate to keep bringing up Rock and Michelle, but I see them, and it's like a perfect couple of ambition. What they always say, they say they name power couple. I want to be labeled that one day. You don't want to be labeled a non-power couple. You don't want to be labeled a power couple. So I want a woman with some ambition. Some desire to do something greater than just working simple 9 to 5.
So, okay, so let me throw a scenario out there to you. So say you meet a very beautiful woman, she's athletic, she's fit, she has all those qualities except ambition. Now maybe she does have a good job, maybe she has a job where she's making good money and she's content with her life.
She has a really good job, that's different. If she's like a doctor, lawyer, engineer or something like that, which I actually met an engineer. So yeah, she got a job where she's probably making 70, 90 out the gate already when you met her. It's like, she probably ain't chasing 150, 200,000 your salary. That wouldn't change her life any. A woman like that is different. It's different for a woman like that. But for the school teachers and nurses who ain't really killing it like that, I'm not trying to poo-poo on them. Just give an example of somebody who ain't making six figures or something. Anybody not making six figures who wants six figures. Some women don't. Women look at money so much different than men do. Like men look at it as like the holy grail. I gotta have it. I gotta go out and get it as much of it as I can. Women ain't really concerned with it that much. Women are just like, as long as my bill's paid and I drive a nice car, that's all they really care about.
Now, what about, okay, so you do meet some, and there are some women, for those of us who have been on Facebook, on Instagram, we've all seen that video floating around about the lady who said she wanted to make six figures. Mm-hmm. What about those women who are chasing, and I'm not even going to say people, they're gold diggers. I'm not going to say that's gold digging. I mean, it is nothing wrong with wanting to have a certain standard of living, or have a man who can give you stability. So when you run up on those women who out there, I'm chasing a man who can give me this type of lifestyle. How do you handle that?
They need to be a certain type of woman to get that type of lifestyle. And how do I handle it? I mean, I'm not that, so those women immediately get that. Maybe one day I will be there, probably will. But as of now, I mean, those women don't really shoot for me because I'm not what they're looking for. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with a woman who wants a high status, high value type of guy making a bunch of money. It's more or less, do you match that with your looks and everything you're bringing to the table? You can't be an average woman talking about you want to make six figures. That's kind of crazy because those type of dudes don't look for average women. Those dudes are looking for superior women or phenomenal women or model types. I mean, it is what it is. It sounds super shallow, but it deals kind of the facts. And those are six-figure guys. Like dudes who start making like $500,000, $1 million a year, those dudes aren't looking for one type of woman. That's it. They're not looking for much, if anything else. They might settle for somebody they really fell head over heels with. They like their personality or something. But yeah, women who want, dudes who making money, you got to be a certain type of woman to be like requiring that them all. Just I only talk to dudes who make. I've known plenty of girls who chase down Chiefs and Royals players, but I will say that those were some of the prettiest girls I've met in Kansas City who do that stuff. So they actually had the looks to match what they were chasing, and they were in their 20s, so they were still in their youth. But once that gig is up out of, I know some of those girls who are past that prime. It's like now they're looking to settle down with regular dudes. Just like, well, you sit and chase these jerseys forever and you never caught one. But yeah, women, that's okay for women to chase men with money. I think it's smart. You just have to be the type of woman to know you can get that. Like every woman can't get that. So no, what you said, know thyself. I would say what everybody else says. Self-evaluation. What's the term I'm thinking of? Yeah, it's like you gotta evaluate yourself and know that I am or no I'm not. Like don't lie to yourself. Like definitely don't lie to yourself. Oh, I can get a six-figure dude, and again you 5'5", 170, 180, 190 pounds. Talking about you thick. Talking about you want a six-figure earner. It don't work like that.
I cannot stress enough.
That was mean, but it was truthful.
This is called Get Real. This is not about catering to your sensibilities. This is not about trying to, any woman can get any man and anybody can have anybody. No.
Not how life works.
So I stress to people, go back if you didn't look at the video or listen to last week's podcast. Go listen to Know Thyself. Once you know who you are and what you have to offer, then you know what you can go out here and get in the dating game. But if you don't know you, if you think, I mean, I'm 5'4". I don't call myself thick. I don't use that term when I describe myself. I don't consider myself thick. I mean, I have a nice shape. I try to maintain myself. But, I've had men who approached me and was like, you need to lose a little weight. Like, I think you too big. You will look better at 150 pounds. Now, I know myself. You come to me talking about I need to lose some weight. We ain't got nothing to talk about because I'm not about to be living in the gym for you. But Also, there are men who look at me and be like, you're a beautiful woman. I love everything about you.
Everybody has preferences.
Exactly. So when you meet a potential partner and, out the gate, they looking at you like, them thighs a little thick, that belly a little big.
Same case for like a WNBA player. Some of those girls be 6'1", 6'3", 6'5". They're not getting normal guys if you play in you have to get a man who's probably way taller than you. Or at least like some dudes like bigger women, some dudes definitely don't. Some dudes, or in Lisa Leslie, some dudes are into 6'5" women. A lot of dudes ain't. Most of those women are still all getting married though, so they're actually finding mates now given they're of higher status, obviously, because they play in WNBA. But it's just an example of the extremes that people do like thicker women, people do like taller women. But most men or who are 5'9", 5'10" in America, they're looking for the 5'5", 5'4", certain weight type of woman. That's the normal. What's the word I'm looking for now? I can't. But that's the normal type. But yeah, there are definitely. I know a lot of guys who like bigger women. I don't know a lot of guys who like taller women, but I know a lot of guys who are into just more full-figured women.
And stop getting offended. This is not about being offensive. This is just about knowing your audience. It's about knowing what you have to offer somebody and knowing what you're willing to accept.
And we're highlighting the women's side of it, but highlight the men's side of it. A lot of women don't want short guys.
Oh no,
I've been beat over the head with that my whole life. All women want to do is either 6 foot or 6'2" or better. I've heard women say even 6'4". I'm like, it's a stat that literally says 1% of the men on the planet are 6'2" or better. 1%. Now, given there are 7 billion people on the planet, over 7 billion, so over 3 billion men, so 1% that's still like 300 million men. It's a lot of tall dudes out there, but most men aren't tall like that. If you want a 6'2", 6'4" guy, you can find that, but most men are gonna be below that. But yeah, women don't want short, fat, ugly, broke dudes. So it's like, these are just realistic facts. I mean, if you are short, fat, broke, and ugly, doesn't mean you still can't find someone. Someone's out there for you. But just do the best you can to make what you have work for you and make it the best it can be. Package up your deal the best you can package it up. But I'm only 5'10", and I work out every day, but I'm not 6'2", and I always wished I was 6'2". I feel like I would get a lot more women if I was 6'2", but I'm not. When I hop in the car, they see me. I'm not 6'2", which the chick I told you I got at the liquor store and I was at the ice cream place, she was a taller woman. She was probably about 5'8", 5'9". We almost looked, I could tell she was a little shorter than me, but she was a dark brown girl and she was pretty, so I talked to her. But yeah, every chick's not super into he gotta be 6'. They say that. But when you talk to them, they don't really always stand on that. You got to be 6'2" to talk to me, right, baby? That ain't you know. Once I get you to laughing and giggling and buy you a drink and all that, yeah, that out the window. You being 6'2", but
I prefer 6'2", but he's right. The guy I married was 5'6". So I mean, there are men you do adjust your standards for, but have standards. Make sure you know what you're looking for.
What's your guideline?
Meeting somebody should be like an interview process. You get the applications, you read it over, like you said, those certain check boxes, do they hit those boxes? You go out on a date, you get to know more about them. But if y'all don't mesh, y'all simply don't mesh. Now, you might just find a person be like, hey, I just want to smash, I like the way you look, and I'm going to keep it moving. That's okay too. Stop trying to shame people for how they live their life, and stop trying to, he body shaming because he don't want to date bigger women. Well, if that's not his preference, get over it and go on with life. Don't sit and get in your feelings about it. Just like you said about tall men, he's not a tall man, and some women look at him and be like, hey boo, you just don't meet that standard.
Everybody should it's a guideline of having standards, but also the guideline of having standards it's flexible. Some of your standards are non-negotiable. If I was preaching to women, I would say, have a man having a job, that's kind of non-negotiable. And you can't really go against that one. But being tall or being of a certain type of fitness or body type, or what type of job he has or what type of car he drives, that stuff is all like relative. And I wouldn't set no guideline as a woman saying he got to be 6'2" and drive a Benz. Like, you just being stupid now. And as men, we don't really, dudes will say they have standards and guidelines like that, which we definitely do. But dudes are quick to just, change on them if it's for a certain type of woman who make you feel a certain type of way. You're quick to not change your standards and guidelines, but they're flexible. They're flexible. I really don't like talking to chicks with a bunch of kids, but I definitely have dealt with women who have 3 kids, and that's, when you early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, that's a lot of kids for a woman to have, I'm not a 50-year-old man talking to a woman with 3 kids. That's a lot, but you know, if you like them, you like them. So
Flexibility, people. Gems are being dropped today. Have standards. Have those things, like he said, that are non-negotiable. But also be flexible when you meet a wonderful person. Be willing to give that wonderful person a chance. That's why a lot of people single, that most of y'all have no standards, first and foremost. Y'all accepting any old trash to come along, and yes, I called other people trash. Get over it.
Well, they too stringent, like chili.
Yeah.
I feel like some people have standards, and if you once you don't meet them, like dude, like you just we all remember Chili's list, and I was just like, it was just ridiculous. It was super. It was like 40 things on the list that she wanted in a man, and they didn't meet him. It was just dumb. Like don't. Chili is like the extreme example. She's like the what not to do. But yeah, that was just ridiculous. Like don't have no list. We just talk to whoever, but don't have a list of 40 things, and when they teeth crooked, nope, the bad feet, it's like, come on, man, you're being too much. But
a bad one for a hard one. I cannot stand a man with bad hygiene like that.
Yeah, I don't see how women do that. That's a whole conversation. I don't see how women do that, but I know a lot of women who do, because I know dudes who have bad hygiene who have women. I'm just like, wow. I never understood it. Like, to the day I go, I won't get that one. I don't. Maybe it must be the way they make the women feel, where they just overlook the fact that he doesn't daily shower or brush his teeth or put on cologne or deodorant, lotion, any of that good stuff. And I'm just like, man, like, and then I see myself, I'm like, man, I wonder if I hollered at her, she should be fiending for me, like, if she wants this guy. But yeah, hygiene is not always a big one in some women's eyes. I've seen a lot of women go for men who have bad hygiene, and I'm saying bad. Like, I'm not saying subpar. I'm saying just bad, But I don't know, man. I don't know how women can overlook that one. I really don't know how women can. And I know they know. Don't act like, oh, he ain't got bad. If all his homeboys, family, friends, coworkers, he has bad hygiene, his girlfriend or the women he's dealing with have to know. But I thought that was just an easy staple that you had to have that in the dating scene, but I guess you don't.
You shouldn't walk around smelling like you've had the same underwear on for weeks.
No,
like,
not at all.
That's gross, first and foremost. These are basic things. I guess you should put that on the list when you talk about basics. Have a car, have a job, have money, and have decent hygiene.
I thought so basically I had to mention it. If somebody walk up to you in the morning and they and you didn't brush your teeth this morning, like that to me, that's just crazy, especially, in a certain age group of people. But I guess some people still don't. If in high school, middle school, somebody brush teeth, whatever. But in the adult working world, you go at your job or interacting with people, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, ain't brush your teeth. You're like, damn, that's crazy. Hey, maybe you had a long night. Maybe you had a long night. I don't know.
So again, those things, make sure you know what you're looking for and those deal breakers in people. I mean, it's so much. My God, we could probably talk about this all day. That those different little caveats of,
hygiene is a good one though. And
yeah.
Next to a man having a job and a good personality, hygiene is it. I mean, him being tall or not, that's something he can't. The things you can. They say work on what you can work on. You can't work on your height. I can't change me being 5'10", but my hygiene and my muscle mass and my personality and charisma, those are things you can control. If you treat people good, that's something you can control. If you treat people bad and you're always mean, you have a horrible attitude, people notice that. People don't want to be around you. If they know you're going to be there, they don't want to show up. It's just, so work on what you can control, and the things you can't control, don't worry about it, because people going to love you regardless. So.
Gems, people. Gems are being dropped today. So that's a good point. Work on what you can work on. Know what you have to offer and know what you're looking for. There's not a one size fits all when it comes to dating. And that's why, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. A lot of you I talk to you a lot about what I see on there. And people try to come out with these hard rules where if you do 1, 2, and 3, you'll find this person. If you fast for 10 days, you'll find Mr. Right. If you can manifest your perfect partner. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But what you really should do is work on self first. And like he said, change the things and control the things that you can, and the things that are out of your control.
Ain't much you can do about that.
Right.
It really ain't much you can do about that. And can't change it. I mean, it's out of your control, out of your control. And
a lot of y'all single because y'all looking for something on a higher level than what you are. Y'all looking for a 10 and you a 4. So, know who you are, know what you have to offer as a potential partner, and then go out there and try to be that.
I got the term self-assess. That's the term I was thinking.
Oh, self-assess.
A lot of people don't self-assess. A lot of women don't do it. And to me, in the dating game, more women don't do it than men. I think a lot of men kind of know where they stand. I don't think they really do. There's a lot of women who want something way higher than where they stand. That woman will be a 5 or 6, and she would want like 8 or 9. I'm like, I don't understand how you think you can get that. I mean, the power of that thing you have between your legs ain't that great, but some women think that it is. There are some dudes who aren't fazed by sex. They're really not. You can't throw sex in their face that doesn't faze them. Then the other guys who are sex crazy, wherever you throw, they'll just bow down to you. But I think people need to self-assess where they're at. Women have a ranking system. Women have things they rate themselves on, especially single women. Just self-assess yourself and know where you stand. As a man, I've self-assessed myself many days. I'm always assessing. So, I mean, I have a vivid idea in my age group of where I stand at. But that's for the Midwest. Now, if I went to Miami or New York, I would get blown out the water by a lot of those bachelors out there. Because I know how they're living. I seen it. I'm like, damn, this dude's on his A game. But, in some sleepy Midwestern markets, it's different. So, I'm not in LA or Miami. So, I'm here. But people need to just self-assess and be honest with themselves. If you 5 pounds overweight, or if you know you're 6'3" and you're making $80,000 a year in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and you good looking, you probably can get a lot of women out there being that dude. I mean, I'm just being honest. But if you in Fort Lauderdale and you 5'6" and you 220 and ugly, you might need to make some money or have a great personality. I mean, people need to just honestly look in the mirror and self-assess. So there's nothing wrong with self-assessing for women and for men. Women need to do it, and dudes need to do it. Women need to do it and be honest. And then after they be honest with yourself, don't just say you got the power of the thing between your legs and you just got 5 more points. It doesn't work like that. Because dudes self-assess and we're honest with ourselves. Women will do it then and say, well, if I just throw this at, no. That ain't going to work every time with every man. There are some dudes who be like, girl, please. Like, you got that, and every other woman walking this planet has it too. But, yeah, self-assessing is big. Self-assessment.
Now, he actually brought up a good point, because I do think a lot of women, we do think we have the power of the vajayjay.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have more to offer somebody than your V.
You're supposed to.
And if you basically out here banking on getting a man because you think you got that magic between your legs, you basically don't have nothing to offer nobody. And that seems harsh, it seems rude, but it's also very real. Develop yourself as a person. What you have down here, and I'm pointing to my vagina for those who are actually looking at listening to the podcast and not looking at the videos. Have a personality. Have hobbies. Have things you love to do. Have things to talk about. Know what's going on in the world. When you meet a man, offer him more than your sexuality.
That only works for video vixens and models who get pregnant by rich guys. Like that only works. And some of them, it blows up in their face. Like, if you're a video vixen or a model and you plan on, then your looks are a perfect 10, so you are chasing after 8s, 9s, 10s. That might work. It might not. We all know cases where it has worked, and then we hear the cases where it hasn't. So, yeah. And then on top of that, it's a small window for women to do that. Women can't do that until they're old, ripe age. It's a very small window women can sit and chase that, use that beauty and vajayjay to get the gifts they want out of life. Which, I mean, nowadays it's becoming way too prevalent that all the media throws out there of those women who are doing that. And it makes all these other girls who look at TV think they can do it. And it's like, well, you're not her. You're not, all these video vixens and all these celebrity women who out here are doing that. So everybody can't be Kim Kardashian. So, y'all need to try to be, more or less try to be the Michelle Obamas and the Beyoncés with a talent or something, a gift or something you can get a world, and try to just be talentless and giftless and pretty and think you're going to blow up. Like, that doesn't work for very many women,
He just brought up a good point. We're going to do another podcast about that.
That worked for one family, and everybody else was no, it worked for her. They're billionaires and rich off of that, and all messing with celebrity dudes because and their daddy was a famous lawyer on O.J. Simpson's murder case anyway. So it's like they even had a backing before her daddy died. But yeah, that doesn't work for everybody. So.
And to me, this is, again, a self-esteem issue. If you feel like you have to go under the knife,
oh yeah, I know a lot of girls doing it.
8 to 10 times to reach some beauty standard, my personal opinion to
that's
you,
a psychological issue.
Seek help.
Yeah, that's a psychological issue.
I don't care how beautiful or ugly you think you are. There's something beautiful about everybody. And don't let this world beat you down to where you feel like you have to cut yourself and mutilate yourself and you have to go under the knife a gazillion times to reach the world standard of beauty. We're all beautiful to someone. Now that may not be the someone you want.
You won't. Yeah, it might be the person you want, but there's somebody out there who definitely thinks you're attractive.
Exactly. So he brought up a very, again, we gonna have a whole he brought up a very good point. We're gonna do a whole nother podcast about that topic.
There are very few people who are just women who are just born with all the physical blessings of the looks, the body, from the head to the feet. There are very few women born like that. Some of them are getting, plastic surgery and the boob jobs and liposuction and ass implants and all this foolishness. I'll tell women I bump into, man, you ain't gotta do all that. When most women get boob jobs nowadays, boob jobs are becoming very simple. I know a lot of girls who got boob jobs. I mean, if you were born with mosquito bites and that's what you really want, go for it if you got the money. But all the extra stuff, the liposuction and lip injections and getting their face touched on with plastic surgery on their face, that's doing too much. Like as a man, I don't want a woman who did that. Like I wouldn't want a woman who did that. I'm like you. I'm thinking your psychological messed up. You don't had plastic surgery on your face. Like what was wrong with your face to begin with? Like did you get in a car? Like you getting a car wreck? Like what was wrong? No, I just wanted this and that and this to look like that. Like no, I was born with a big nose. I'm not gonna get it smaller. I'm not gonna get my nose touched up. Like that's ridiculous to me. Like I would never do that. But some people don't see them. Maybe we don't live in Beverly Hills, so maybe we
miss it out.
Maybe some Midwestern people who look, hey, ain't nothing wrong with it, me. But maybe those people think that's cool. I don't know.
And so again, it's different for everybody. And a lot of men. I was on Facebook, and the guy he was a plastic surgeon. He did a whole surgery on his potential wife's vagina to make it the way he wanted. There's different strokes for different folks. And like he said, when you do a self-assessment on yourself, when you know who you are, when you know what you have to offer, don't let somebody pressure you into being something you're not or becoming someone you're not. Now, if you want to get, like you said, get a boob job for yourself, hey, do that. If you want to get plastic surgery because you feel like, hey, if I change my nose, I'll be more attractive. Again, to me, that's a self-esteem issue. But I mean, if that's what's going to make you feel beautiful, it's not for me to tell you you're wrong. But if you do it for you. Don't do it because, if I get these boobs and get a nose job and Botox and, my cheeks lifted up and my forehead.
And it look like a cartoon character.
Yeah. To me, something's wrong. And that, again, like you said, that may be a mental issue. It may not be necessarily an issue of you trying to look for a partner. It might be something going on upstairs. And that's where he said that self-assessment comes in handy. I mean, I'm 4 decades in. My body ain't quite the way it used to look when I was in my 20s. Some things are sagging quite the wrong way. But you know what?
Natural.
I'm okay with me. I'm not the world's most attractive woman. I've had men meet me who say, why don't you grow your hair? Why don't you let your hair grow out? I think you would look more beautiful with hair.
That's maintenance.
That is the truest statement ever.
That's maintenance.
But, I like my hair short. I keep my hair short. So if I had a man who was like, no, I want you to grow your hair long, baby, we probably shouldn't be together. Again, dating standards. So is there anything else you want to add to this conversation? Is there anything else you want to touch on when it comes to dating standards about either you or a potential partner?
Let me see. The self-assessing is big. Just, covering the basics is big. I mean, I think a lot of people are just skipping the basics. Besides self-assessing and covering the basics, like you said, you have to be okay with yourself before you can get involved in these relationships. There's too many people who are half people trying to become whole with someone else. You need to be whole by yourself. Be okay with self by self before you can get in a relationship. Because if you're not okay with yourself, you shouldn't be in relationships, getting engaged and getting married, and you ain't really figured you out yet. That's why a lot of people nowadays don't get married at a young age, because they ain't figured themselves out yet. That's why it more times work with these older guys getting married, because a man in his 40s or 50s has had more time to figure yourself out. So it's just figure you out what you interested in, what you do like, what you don't like. And I feel like people shouldn't rush into being with somebody. A lot of people just don't like being alone too. That's a big one. Well, I don't want to be alone. So you want to be stuck up under somebody. That's not insecure. That's being stuck under somebody. It's just, you don't want to do that. That's just not good to always want to be stuck underneath somebody. Be okay with being alone and figure you out, man.
So again, to recap, have the basics covered. Wash your booty, have a car, have your own place, have some money in your pocket, have a job.
Have a conversation too.
That is true.
Do people who can sit down and can't discuss anything, I think that's very funny. 'Cause I see people like that. I'm just like, dang, this person can't hold a conversation about nothing. Know nothing, can't talk about it. You ain't got to talk about all the current politics, but be able to talk about something besides junk TV too. It ain't got to be strictly all the way to the political side, but it ain't got to be strictly all the way to the junk TV side. Just be able to talk. Like, that's it. Some people just like, just be able to hold a conversation. Some people cannot do that.
Should we add that to our basics? Okay, so we have 5 basics now.
I've heard women say they're turned off by dudes who can't hold a conversation. I've actually heard a lot of women say that, like, if he can't hold a conversation, I'm turned off. I'm like, damn, I didn't know y'all put it that high. Okay.
It ranks high for me. I can't stand a man I can't talk to. I can't stand somebody who can't articulate themselves. I mean, we all struggle at times, when you're trying to think of that right word or, trying to figure out how you want to say something. But be able to talk about something. Mm-hmm. I don't care what Cardi B is doing.
No,
Cardi B.
Junk TV,
yes.
Gossip. I said junk TV, gossip.
I don't care who on the Wendy Williams show. I don't care what Wendy Williams talking about.
It's easy to have stuff to talk about when people have their own lives or passions or hobbies. It's really easy. It becomes really easy to talk about stuff when people have. If you don't have your own personal life, no passions, no hobbies, then it becomes a lot easier to hold a conversation. You be like, well, you ain't got nothing to talk about. Like, yeah, you have a hobby, have a passion, have a personal life, man. Alone, don't attach your personal life to other people all the time.
So what he just said in a nutshell, for those who didn't get it, be okay being alone. Feel yourself out. Do that self-assessment on you, that self-reflection. Self-love is key, people. Build your life up first, then bring someone else into that life. Don't try to make somebody else your life.
Mm-hmm. Complete your life. You got
exactly.
Yeah, you got to build you up first, then bring people in. Don't. Oh, they my everything, bro. You 23. You ain't shit on everything, bro. You ain't got nothing yet. Shit, everything already? Like, damn.
Gems, people. Dropping gems today. So we're going to go ahead and end this note. Tune in January. This is going to be the Get Real Dating series. Every month we're going to talk about some aspect of the dating game. It's going to be me, my bro Stephone. We're going to get, hopefully, please listen to this. There's some good information in this video. So again, I'm Tanika Meeks. This is my guest host, Stephone. This is the Get Real Vodcast. New content will be posted every Saturday. Please go on YouTube and subscribe to the videos. Please go on there and watch. Definitely trying to build my empire with this. But if you listen to the podcast, I love you just the same. And again, thank you to all the people who listen in the United States and everyone who listens around the world. Happy holidays.